believe, and we're live. All right. Welcome everybody, live. We're welcome everybody to the to our Mumfreedompreneurs hangout. We're probably gonna have more ladies popping in and out right now. I'm here, Valerie Jampolsky. We've got Sarita Cleese. We've got Vashon Bort. We've got also other ladies that will probably popping in. And today we've got something very, very special for you. We are going to be talking about how. Oh, you know what? Hang on, I forgot to shut that down. Oh, we got the echo, so hang on one sec, guys. To our Mumfreedompreneurs hangout. We've got echoes going on. Oh, there we go. That's because I had our live page there in case we had comments from folks that we wanted to field. Let me just pull that down again, and I forgot, and the page went live, so we had an echo. If that ever happens to you when you're doing a hangout, it just means somebody's got a page open, and that's where the echo is coming from, and you can just pause it and silence it, and that will stop all that from happening anyways on the tech side of things. So we're going to be going through tips. Vashon has tips, I have tips, and I have an exercise, and I'm actually going to take Vashon through, and you can all go through yourselves on how to find the deeper purpose for your business, how to find that place inside of you, that your business, that will drive you to a very different place in your business. I don't know how else to put it. It's a very experiential thing. That what you're on one side of it, and then once you go through the exercise, you're on the other side of it, and it has a very powerful effect on everything that you do. And so I'm going to pass it on to Sarita and Vashon, and then I will take us through the exercise at the end. So Sarita, I'm heading over to you first. Oh, we have Elizabeth joining us. She's coming in. Elizabeth, hi. Oh, all right, we're gonna pass it on to you, Sarita. Oh, no sound. Can't hear you, hun.
On my turn to talk?
Got you.
Okay. I've never done this.
Right.
Sarita?
Hello.
Oh,
hello. Can you hear me?
Welcome, Elizabeth. Is this your first hangout with us, Elizabeth, yeah?
Yes.
Ah, welcome. Great.
Yeah, welcome, Elizabeth. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, very excited to have you all here, ladies. For those that don't know me, I'm a stay-at-home mom from Perth, Western Australia, so it's like 12 a.m. here in the morning. And I'm really happy to catch up with all you ladies around the globe. I think we've got Vashon here from Missouri, yes, is that right? The Missouri. And Valerie is from LA, and then we got Elizabeth. Don't know exactly where you're from, Elizabeth. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow, yes. So, yeah, pretty amazing. We're all getting together, and this is going to be a very interesting session. Valerie and I, we actually did some exercise like this a while back about, finding your true purpose and in the business and, your deeper why. And it's really, really powerful because the more you know why you're doing something, and, I think that's a part of the reason why that keeps me going every day. It's just your fuel to keep you going each day, when you're feeling maybe, possibly on the days when you're not feeling like working or whatever, when you connect with your deeper why, that's just the fuel that keeps you going every day. And if you can, for example, with me, it's my children, but it's also the freedom, and there's a lot more to it. So the more you get in touch with that, the more you feel like motivated to take action. And it's all about taking action and having a good attitude in this business. So I'm very, very excited what Valerie has in store for us today. And I pass it on to Vashon.
Vashon? Oh, yeah, we can hear you. Oh, we can hear you. Great.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and I know you have tips too, because you always do.
Oh, thank you. Well, welcome everyone, and like Sarita said, it's so wonderful to be on a call with other moms or mums, depending on what part of the world you're from. And part of the joy of being part of this wonderful group is that we all share and we bring a unique background to our business. But we have one thing that's in common, and that's that we are a mother, and we are looking for ways to be successful, or we already are successful actually, and we are sharing that with you so that if you're struggling in your life or your business, that you can find or learn tips in order to take your life to that next level or take your business to that next level. And so today, Valerie's going to lead us through a really amazing exercise. And I do have a few tips, but I'd kind of like to hear Valerie's exercise before I dive into tips, if that's okay, Valerie.
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Before I take you through the exercise, because Vishon has volunteered to actually go through the exercise live with everybody here. So, yeah, all right, cool. And quickly, let's go over to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, just say hi, where you're from, how many kids you got. We're all here with kids. I got twin 4-year-olds, and I know we've all got different kids. And since it's your first time, just introduce yourself briefly to everybody here.
My name's Elizabeth. I live in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. I have 4 children, ranging in age from 10 to 23. And I'm twice divorced, and I'm trying to maintain our house at the moment. And I needed a way of bringing in an income because most of my kids have handicaps, and I need to be home to help take care of them.
And that's wonderful, because what we have and what we do is totally, it's doable from that. And it's so exciting. That'll be very encouraging for other parents, anybody out there that's dealing with a similar situation, to know what's possible for them. That's just so cool. Which by the way, quickly, you can see there's curious. There's links below, and you just connect into the exact system that we're working with here. So and welcome, first time on our Hangout. I'm excited to have you here in the future for other Hangouts as well. So we'll be getting your responses, your reaction to the exercises we go through it, because I don't think you've heard of this one either. I think it was new for you. Okay, so I'm going to, there's a name for it. It's actually called, it's been called the well-formed outcome. And usually it can be done in a couple of ways. You can do it where you do it by yourself and you write it out and you think it through. Or you can do it live where someone takes you through the process. And I've done it both ways, and this is actually something that we've done, and Rita and I have done, and it's even something that I actually go back to even every 90 days, because you can go to a deeper level. I hear a bit of an echo, so maybe if folks, if you can sort of mute your other pages. I'm going to see if it's my page, but mute yourself. I was going to see if you just slightly mute yourself, maybe you can stop the echo. Okay, I'm talking now. No more echo. All right. Ooh, somebody. Nope, wait a minute. Still coming. You know what? I'm just going to shut down my other page to see if that's me on my end. One sec. See if that stops it. Okay, I'm talking. Do I hear the echo still? Yep, I do. Let me see if we can figure this out. Hang on one second, because I don't want to have the...
Hey, Valerie, I have you muted. Yeah, you appear to be muted.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, cool. All right, cool. I think we stopped the echo. Yay! Right. There's always tech glitches. That's the other thing. Always having the attitude, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be a tech glitch. It doesn't matter. Okay. So this is something that it's about asking yourself questions. And I often do this about every 90 days. I know this is, and after you've done this, this is something that you can read through yourself, your outcome statement. There's an actual additional exercise that we have within our system where you can turn this into a statement that I know Sarita actually reads to herself twice a day, which I'm I'll be honest and remember to do it twice a day. It's great. She actually has it scheduled, which I think is a huge piece of her success. But I'm gonna take you through it right now and go through this afterwards and write them down. I'll go through slowly with the questions so that you have a chance to actually write them down. Okay. Now, hang on one second. Here we go. Okay. I'm just looking at my list here if I've got the right. Okay, all right. We're going to go through the basic. I'm going to go through this, the initial questions through this, and the actual deeper part of it is going to come near the end, where Rashana will be asking you to possibly open up and go beyond where you might have been thinking in the past. This might take you to another place. So here we go. Well, I'm going to start with, and a lot of this is probably going to be top of your mind because I know you've done a lot of similar work of this kind. So the first question I'm going to ask you for you is, what is your goal? Like, what do you want for your business? What is your goal?
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I'm preparing here. My biggest goal is I really want, or I strive to empower women specifically to be strong, most physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I do that through a number of ways. I do that through coaching and through my business to help women to find a way financially to make a living in maybe a non-traditional way so they can continue to be a mom. I also do it through my martial arts studio by empowering women to be strong and be able to protect themselves physically. And then spiritually, that kind of goes with the coaching as well, but and it actually goes through all three. The spiritually to me is having that heart, that moral character and moral guide, whoever your higher power is, to have a connection with that so that you feel like you have a much deeper purpose.
Okay, and what's interesting is you've already done a lot of this work, so that's actually a very powerful statement. Most folks start with, I want to make so much money per month. So they do, and that's a place, and it's a place where a lot of folks start, which lead to this. So we're going to get to someplace really deep with you because you've already done a lot of work on this. So you want to help people to become is it more powerful physically, mentally, and spiritually? Did I get that right?
That's right. And not people, primarily women, because I notice that I resonate more with females who maybe are lacking that power in their life.
Okay, so you want to help women to become more powerful physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yeah.
Okay, so what will be the evidence? How will you know when you've achieved this goal?
Well, the evidence for me is, when I see, women that I've come in contact with to start making powerful changes in their life, be it taking risks that they've never done before, or overcoming fears that they've never overcome. So a lot of it is getting to know them and listening to them share their story. The other aspect of it is to see my own business expand because of it. Because I'll know I'm doing a good thing if others are finding value in what I'm doing and they're coming to me for assistance in becoming more powerful women.
Okay, so you'll know you've achieved the goal when you hear the stories from other women telling you in their own lives how that's happened. And it's more specifically for you and your business, how will you know when you've achieved the goal? Like, have you got like a
I do. Well, I mean, one of my personal goals is that every year I want to help 100 women make a massive change in their life, massive positive change in their life. And so, I try to keep track of the women that I come in contact with, and I follow up with them to see, are they making positive changes mentally, physically, spiritually, and at the end of the year, if I've got 100 on my list, I feel, oh my gosh, I accomplished that goal. With a lifetime goal is I'd like to somehow reach 10,000 women in my lifetime to directly influence them, small or big, so that they change their life in a more positive way.
Okay, so it's 100 women a year, and you know this from their stories, and you're keeping track. And in lifetime, you're saying 10,000 in your lifetime. Is that okay?
Yes.
So all right. So when now we've already got a little bit of the when, because you say for you say a year. So what? So okay. So you've got 100 a year. So you sort of like by this date, right? I know like you got like each year that you go and you make your assessment. So where do you want to achieve the goal? Because the question is, by the way, for folks taking notes, it's when and where do you want to achieve this goal? So Rashawn is already ahead of the game for a lot of this, so we want to jump into it. I want to slow it down so everybody gets this. So you've got, like you have this date, by this time every year I check, and you have a lifetime goal. So, but when and where do you want to achieve the goal?
Okay. Well, where for me is, directly in my businesses. So, like I said earlier, I'm a martial arts instructor. So, if I can influence, a third of those women through martial arts, the physical side, then, that is where I'd like to see that part happen. And as far as the mental side, I really see that more on the business, to helping them to be financially strong, as well as, through the coaching to be spiritually strong as well. So the way that I measure that is by, direct clients that I have. So if I have direct clients that are in my books that I'm working with, be it students in my martial arts school or students through my coaching or business associates and partners through my business, all of those to me add up together. I've tried to kind of diverse it in those three prongs instead of just having, one certain area that I'd like to see that happen.
Okay, yeah, because you have a few things that you're working on. Okay, so now we're going into so we've gone through the goal, the evidence, that you've achieved the goal, and yours is actually speaking to people, and you're seeing, the numbers of people in the couple of areas that you got in your business and also in the martial arts, and where. That's the context. Now we're going to talk about achievable. What, for the first part of that, and I'm saying it slow so folks can also write this down, what resources do you need to make this happen?
Sure. So, I think the biggest resource that I need are a platform in order to reach all the women. And obviously right here where I'm at now on this Hangout is a huge platform because, if you're watching this right now and you're a woman, I'm hoping that not only through me, but through other lovely women that are on this panel, that you are starting to make a breakthrough, or maybe you've already made a breakthrough in some parts in your life, and so now you're just taking it to the next level. So having that platform is really important. And then the other thing is to have a business that I am able to share with others that they can duplicate in their own life and create the type of financial freedom and mental, physical freedom that they need. So through my martial arts as well, I've got a few students that are interested in one day becoming instructors themselves, and so I see that as another opportunity in order to affect women. And then finally, I said my lifetime goal is 10,000. Well, if you do the math, I'm not going to live long enough if I only do 100 a year. But I'm also keeping in mind that I'd like to see the 100 women that I influence each year to carry on that to others. And in doing that, it's like a ripple effect. And I'm hopeful that, this vision will live on through other women who become powerful and able to share the breakthroughs that they've had in their life.
Okay, and it's, of course, you being you've led to the next point. You can't help it, Rashawn. You just can't help it. Okay. So, the next question is can I achieve this alone, or do I need other people to make it happen? So, and you've already addressed that. So there's but I'm gonna go into another piece of it. So there's these sort of the viralness of helping someone that then helps someone, that pebble in the pond effect. But also just in your business. What are there other, not just not to give it a just, but in your business, do you need other people to make that happen, in not, in addition to, of course, the people that you help helping other people. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, certainly. And, I think I've evolved, and all of us here on the panel, we've evolved enough to know that you can't do it all on your own. It's impossible. When I was a younger woman, I thought I could, I thought I could do everything all by myself. But as I've aged and as I've matured and as I've learned and I've, gone through lessons such as this wonderful one you're putting me through, I've learned that there is no possible way you can ever do anything on your own. You always need help, and that's something that you have to leave your ego at the door and just say, how can I do things for others, and who can help me, and who can help the vision, more importantly, because it's bigger than just you. Your purpose in life, and now we're going to get a little esoteric here, but your purpose in life is much, much bigger than just you. And when you start to realize that you're part of I want to, just a group of people that need to fulfill a vision, then you can release some of the things that you thought you had to do on your own. So, for example, as you start to grow a business, you have to realize that you can't do all the accounting by yourself. You can't do all your advertising on your own. Over time, you have to be willing to share some of those things so that you can continue to grow. And the same thing with what my vision is. I want to help, all these women, but I know I can't do it alone. And so as I continue to grow, I encourage and I challenge other women to find ways that they can be a part of that vision and to help others to be more powerful and to have their own breakthroughs.
Yeah, incredible. Which, of course, why we have communities, we have tribes, we have all kinds of systems and connections and all kinds of stuff that when you connect with us after if you're not already a part of us, when you click on that button below and you access and get connected into our system, you see behind the scenes so much of what goes on and the support that is all there, and assistance and virtual assistance and everything else. Okay, so going to the next point. So what would be, and we're going to dig much deeper into this, but what would be the advantage of hitting your goal? Some of the advantages of hitting your goal.
Well, I think the advantage of hitting my goal is, there's so many advantages actually, but one of them is the ability to see a true change in the world. And for me, I always want to be the change that I want to see in others. So to start seeing changes in the world in which I live in, to see a more connected community, to see other women be able to overcome their fears, and on the martial arts side, to be able to protect themselves if should something tragic occur, to be able to protect themselves. On the business side, to see women to start having their own financial freedom and realizing that they don't have to depend on another person and a spouse to provide all of their needs for them. So those types of things are proof to me that whatever my vision is starting to come into fruition.
Okay, now this might seem like an odd question, but I want to suggest to open up to this, because there's always another level. No matter how successful we are in our business, there's always that next level. And you have this goal of the 10,000 women, and this is sort of more like digging up something that might be in there that could potentially be just a little thing that if we bring it to the surface, we can see it for what it is and then release it. Okay, so just giving that preface to it. What would you see that might be just, and do the first thing that comes to your mind. Let's allow it to pop up. Or you might have something niggling in there. What might you be seeing as a disadvantage of hitting your goal?
One of the disadvantages that I see, because I have a very strong protective instinct, because of my background, is that the more that I touch others, the more I am maybe not as safe. You know, you hear about the stories of people seeing on the internet, and all of a sudden they see me on the internet, and they think, oh, I know you, and the whole stalker effect. So I think sometimes I may have a little bit of a fear of that because I like to protect those that I love. But I also look at the bigger picture and I say, with everything we do in life, everything, even getting up in the morning and going to the coffee maker or tea or whatever you drink, you have risk. And so I think Helen Keller said it best. She's, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact quote, but it goes something along the lines of, the risky are, or the people who don't take risk are just as likely to have tragedy happen or strike in their life than those who take risk. So with that mindset, what's holding you back from living the true life that you're meant to live?
Yeah, absolutely, very powerful. And I mean, when I do that, whatever pops up into my head, it's always realizing that if that's sitting in there, I can release it, and like you said, immediately flip it to the positive. But if we're not aware of it, it can sometimes operate in the background, and we are attracting to ourselves, not the result that we want, because in some way we have this little negative thing floating around in our head. So those of you that are watching, if something popped into your head when I said that question, take a look at it, write it down, because you can then do exactly what Michonne did and flip the script on it. But if you're not aware of it, then it's operating sort of subconsciously, and that's why it's important to just pull it up, not to give it value, but to just be aware of it so you can, but as Michael Bernard Beckwith said, you can opt out from that way of thinking. You can just choose to opt out of it, but you need to see it in order to opt out of it, to not buy into it. Okay, very sort of powerful little things. Again, if something popped up in your head as we were doing this, give it that. There's a reason for you to just give it that enough attention to kind of go, but be aware of it. Okay, so now the next level was just going into meaning, digging even deeper, which I know may seem impossible right now, but we're going to do this with Michelle because she's already pretty deep as we are here. What of your values will be achieved by having this outcome, by having these 10,000 women that have been affected?
Say that one more time, Valerie.
Which of your values will be achieved by having these 10,000 women, be empowered physically and emotionally and spiritually?
The word I think I'm missing is, are you saying achieved or deceived?
Which values of yours will be achieved? What values?
Oh, achieved, okay.
What values? Which values?
Okay, got it. I think the biggest one is leading by a positive example. So being somebody that is a positive force in somebody's life instead of that negative force that you can't do this, you can't do that, type of mindset. I would feel like I have achieved the value of being able to provide that positive coaching experience that so few people get, because I think in many cases, even ourselves, we're our own worst critic. And it's so hard to find people, especially those closest to us sometimes, that are your cheerleaders. And so for me to be thought of and to help to be that positive force is a value that I really strive for. And I'm not perfect. I'm human just like the rest of us, and I fail sometimes, oftentimes actually. But the more that you strive to be better, and you take steps in your life through reading and listening to good audios, and working through the things in your life that are holding you back, the easier it becomes to do the right thing and to be the leader that people need in their life in order for them to have their own breakthroughs.
Very, 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 very powerful. Okay, and this is another one of those questions. Allow yourself, and for those of you listening, watching, and you, Vashon, right now, whatever pops into your head, whatever, first, don't edit it, because this is the same kind of thing. When it comes up, it's something that will bring into awareness something that you can choose to opt out of. Okay? All right. What will this outcome help you avoid feeling?
Okay. For me, the outcome that I want to avoid is feeling, I guess I'm trying to think of the proper word now. Yeah, just feeling like a cog in the wheel. I'm trying to think of a word that would be that way. I don't ever want to feel like I'm just working and coming home. I don't want to waste my life just being this little cog in a wheel like a factory. I want to somehow be a light in that factory, if you must, that helps others to say, man, I don't have to just be this little gear in life. I have a bigger purpose, and that bigger purpose isn't gears. That bigger purpose is sharing your light and sharing the positivity and uplifting and helping others. It's not just me. What can I do for me and my family? It's how can I help others to grow and to succeed and to be better? And the residuals that come back from having that selfless nature are far greater than if you had the mindset of, hey, I'm just doing this for the money, or I'm just doing this to, make my family have, all the toys and things that I've always wanted them to have. Yeah, if you're doing a business or you're living your life that way from paycheck to paycheck or business deal to business deal, to me, you're that cog in the wheel again. You're not letting your light be what it really could be. And to me, I want to slide into that grave saying, wow, what a ride, and not say, man, I wish I would have done this in my life.
So avoid feeling those regrets and feeling like a cog in a wheel, to have this whole other way of being. Okay, so, and now this is where, and I'm gonna take you through. This is where it actually gets really deep, taking you to the other level. And this is where, for those of you watching this, if you can get someone to ask you the following questions, especially what I'm about to do right now with Vashon, okay? Have a good friend, have someone take you through it. I mean, you can do it yourself, but there's something with having someone else do this for you and not let you sit with one answer, okay? Because I'm going to do this and go do this a few times until I see the response that I know I've hit it, okay? And you want to give me permission to do this. No, it's good. It's a good thing. All right. Okay. So you have your proof. You've reached 10,000 women. You've empowered them physically, mentally, spiritually. You have your proof. You have your stories. You know it. You've reached those 10,000 women. What does that mean for you?
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming joy to know that I have played a part in helping those women to achieve something magnificent, and it's humbling. It would shake the very core of my being to know that in some way I had played a small part in those women's lives.
And you went right there, Vashon. You went right there. You went right there, and I mean that's so powerful. And I'll tell you, and sometimes it takes a few times to get to somebody to get right to wherever Vashon just went there for that incredible, powerful joy. But I'm going to trust that there might even be something even deeper. So I'm going to ask you. Okay, you have this joy. You have this joy, this joy and this awareness that you did that. And I honestly don't even know, but you have this joy. What does that bring in? What does that mean to you?
Wow. It just, I mean, all I see right now is peace and serenity in my heart. And, you know, it goes back to this. I remember reading, and some of you may have heard the story about a man by the name of Greg Mortensen. And he's written, I think it's the name of his book is 3 Cups of Tea. And he spoke about how he realized that the women of the world are the ones that shape the way the men of the world actually behave, because they're the ones raising the children at home. The way he came to this was he went on a mountain climb in Afghanistan. And I'm getting to my point here, but he went on a mountain climb in Afghanistan, and he had a tragic accident. And these women in Afghanistan took him in and cared for him and nursed him back to health, so that, you know, he could get back to America. And he made a promise to the women there that, you know, that he would help them and return the favor any way he could. And the one thing they asked was, you know, could he help educate them, because there the women were not allowed to read or write. And somehow that story, and I read this many years ago, but it profoundly affected me, because I saw that as, wow, you know, if you can make a difference specifically in a woman's life as the mother of their children can influence the world. And it doesn't take that many generations to do it. And so if somehow I could make a difference in women, and to make them more powerful and able and capable of achieving things and inspiring their children in turn, the whole world could change. It will change. And so that's what drives me, and that's what kind of breaks me up inside, because I think, you know, I have 2 sons, and they're watching me. They're watching me every day. And I'm hopeful that through watching me, that they're inspired to, number 1, treat women differently, and number 2, to inspire their own future children to be even better. And in turn, they may actually inspire, you know, their spouse or their female friends or whoever they end up with when they grow older, and they will make a change too. And it's that ripple effect that just, it makes my heart beat, and that's why I'm here.
Okay. And now I'm going to take you one step further. Your sons are grown, and you see, I'm going to get emotional on you now, and you see that ripple effect. You see that ripple effect with the women in their lives, and the ripple effect of what's happened from all those 10,000 women that you helped. You see that change, the ripple effect from them. What does that mean for you?
That, gosh, that means that now there are like 1 million points of light out there. Now there are 1 million women that have, I mean, I said 10,000, but the ripple effect continues on. Now there are 1 million people that have their own vision that continues on and spreads, and it changes the whole world. It changes everything. It's true that one thought, one vision can change the world. And to see that, if I were to be able to see that in my lifetime, that is a life worth lived.
That feeling right here, right now, that feeling that you've gone through. And you can come back, because we have this recorded, Rashawn, and you come back to this for you. You have this also. And anybody else that goes through this, that's the feeling, that's your core. That's the feeling, that's the deeper of the biz. That keying into that space twice a day, or as much as you can. That's what we're doing, and that's what this exercise is for. Because I'm so excited to see what happens from you in the next 90 days, just from going to this next level. I'm sure, you know, it was in there consciously, but to bring it up and feel it emotionally. And thank you, Vashon, for your courage. You had no clue what I was going to do, and you just sort of trusted.
Thanks, Valerie. Wow, it's really really hits. Thank you.
Very, very powerful. I'm excited. To see years from now when we have this conversation and say, "Wow, remember?" Because I think 10,000 is, frankly, it's going to be a lot bigger than that. It's going to be a lot bigger than that.
If I could just say one more thing, and I think everything's meant to happen for a reason. And something that kind of profoundly happened just recently was I was in Nashville with my grandmother, and my grandmother is my oldest living relative right now, and she's 94 years old. And I interviewed her, and she is just smart as a tack. I mean, you wouldn't even guess she's 94 because her brain is completely there and extremely intelligent. I used to be a school teacher. And, I asked her, I said, and I posted this on my Facebook page if anyone want to look, but I asked her on my video, what is the one thing that she hopes that she could pass on to other women? And the thing she said was, basically in a nutshell, to always follow your true values and to lead others through your values, through your heart. And I think that's really what this exercise that you've so graciously taken me through, Valerie, is helping anyone who's listening to this to know your true values, your true worth as a woman, and to be able to expand that to others so that you change the world. Every one of us has that capability.
Absolutely. Sarita, Elizabeth, would love to hear your feeling, your experience of everything we just did.
Sure. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm just blown away every time I'm going through this process. I've done this process a few times, and Valerie's really good at this. And I think it's just really powerful, and I recommend anyone, to do this. You can do it with your girlfriend at home. You can do it just by yourself. Just write it down and keep digging deeper and deeper. But it is really, really powerful because it fuels your if you want to make a huge impact in this world, you really got to connect with the deeper meaning to, in the beginning, it's most people are like struggling, lots of people start, for example, working online because they're struggling financially, and you first of all you want to provide for your own family, but then if you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, it truly is, when Valerie led me through it a few months ago, it was amazing, and it's just amazing what comes up. And you when you do this exercise and you do it like you really dig deep and you're really honest with yourself, it can really affect, like change you from even getting up in the morning, because you have there's a deeper purpose to everything, and I'm quite I'm very, I'm quite a spiritual person, and just feeling that, knowing that you can have a huge impact on others, obviously being a mum, like Rashawn is saying already, it's a huge blessing, and we have like generation, we have like, just by us being a mum, it's such a big job, because we affect our children in such a big way. And it's not just being a mum. We have a huge impact and a huge legacy to pass on. But like when you dig deeper and deeper on how much you can affect others and how that can in turn affect the world. And we are, as women, we are very, very powerful, and there's a reason why we've been suppressed for so long, right? That's always in my opinion, at least, like we're very weak. Our body is a lot weaker in a way than, and that's how we've been suppressed for centuries, but there's a reason why we've been suppressed, because we are very powerful, and now we're waking up to, we're getting back into our power, And it's just so beautiful. Like even now, like even though we're in different parts of the world, we have the ability these days to connect with other powerful women who have the courage to take charge of their life and say, I'm not going to get the label put on me and be a victim. I'm just going to step up. And even though I might be scared, I'm quite an introvert, and for me, even like doing hangouts these days, I find it really challenging, but I do it because I know I wanna connect with other women. I want other women to know that you can be successful. And you don't have to be, you don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to be loud. You can be yourself, and you can have an impact in this world. And I'm very much this exercise. What I love about the exercise too is that it leads right into your heart, and I intend to live from the heart. And I know that in the world, especially when you go and you have to work in the corporate world, it's all led from the head, and it's very male orientated. And I think when you come from your heart, it's actually way more powerful. And we can do this because especially when you work from home, you're around your kids, you're in your heart anyway, and it's actually really, really powerful to live from your heart and connect with others on a deep level, and believe in people and know that totally go the other way from what we've been taught to believe, from early on. And when we went to school, and a lot of us have been conditioned to be like, school already someone told me the other day, and I kind of agree, like the moment kids are put into school, they're kind of conditioned to be almost like robots. And I mean, my kids are not going to school yet, and there's lots of different schools, and they're doing their best they can, but I can see there's some truth there. And well, with these days, with the World Wide Web, there's just so many possibilities, and if we can, I'm just so excited. Like, I don't know. I'm going on in a rant here. I don't even know where this is going.
I love your rant.
Yeah. But I'm just I just love it when I see people in their heart, and I love Vishon. I've met her a few times. I think I'm the first time in New Orleans, and we really connected. And she's my sister, and I love that in itself. It's just so beautiful when you connect with other women, and we are on the same. We have a similar mission here on this planet, and it's first of all take care of our families, but also you can have a huge impact just by putting yourself out there and speaking your vision to other women around the world, and it's really, really powerful. It's if by me putting myself out there, even though I'm really uncomfortable and I get sweaty palms still at hangouts, but if I can help others to realize that there's a different way to live in this world, and you don't have to leave your kids, because it doesn't make any sense to me anyway when you're a mum that you have to leave your kids, because we're meant to be with our children. This is really, really powerful. So I'm just really grateful to be here, and I'm thanking you, Valerie, Vashon, and Elizabeth, for showing up, because showing up in itself is a huge thing. Many people are too afraid to put themselves out there, and we are here, and we are sharing ourselves and our visions, and we hopefully inspire you guys who are watching to do that as well, because we can do great things together. And there's another really awesome quote by Helen Keller, like Vashon was saying, she mentioned Helen Keller, but alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. And it's so true. If we can all lock arms, and we have a similar, we obviously have different specific things we want for ourselves and our lives and our families, but in the end of the day, just being able to connect to other women that are on this, want more for themselves and their lives, and it's just so powerful. And yeah, I just get excited more and more, I'm just so grateful to be connected to you guys, you know, and yeah, thank you.
And I always love just the heartfelt brilliance that comes out of you. You say it's a rant, but it's very, very powerful, and so many people relate relate to everything that you said. I relate to everything you said. I would love to hear, briefly from Elizabeth, any thoughts, insights, ahas, as we were going through the exercise. Thoughts, anything at all? You haven't gone through it yet, and we'll probably do that within, something that we can also do privately. Like you said, everybody will have a chance to go through this. But I'd love to hear your thoughts since this is your first time seeing it. Oh, we need to unmute. I think you're muted, hun. Let's see. There we go.
Mute.
Say hi. Say. Nope, still muted. Up on the top, there's a little microphone. If you maybe.
It's not clicking.
Oh, there we go. You did it. You did it. You did it. Well, I heard you say it's not clicking. Click it again, and then say something. The little microphone.
Hello?
Oh, we did it. Yes. It's
Okay. I just think it's amazing. I mean, I love being able to hear what everybody else is going through, and I drive poor Sarita nuts. I'm constantly bugging her anyway. But she's been so helpful and so wonderful, and that's what I've been trying to do also. I went through a lot in my life. My older two children had very bad handicaps, and I worked 3 jobs and paid a nurse to take care of them when they were smaller and get to all their doctor's appointments. And when I got divorced and remarried, the deal was that I would stay home and take care of the kids until they were in school full time. Well, other things happened, and I'm still home. But now I'm in a position where I have to supply all that income. I have to make sure there's a roof over their head. I have to make sure that they have the things that they need. And this is giving me the opportunity to learn how to do that without giving up my role as their protector, as their guidance. And even with the disabilities that they've had, I stay very hands-on. And I think it's important for parents to do that. And by learning what I'm learning with you guys and with Sarita, it's my intention to I have a 14-year-old daughter. And as soon as I get the hang of this, I'm getting her into this. Because I don't want her to ever be in a position that I've been in for the last 10 years. Yeah. I don't want people that have been through abusive relationships, anything like that. They need to be able to find out and understand that they can get a foothold and pull themselves out of that. And the people that I'm dealing with here, Sarita would tell you, I was at the end of my rope a couple of weeks ago. And the people here have been so phenomenal and so helpful. And I'm sorry, they bring you up and they bolster you so that you have the strength to keep going. And when you stumble and you're not sure where to go, if somebody doesn't have the answer, somebody else comes up with it. And they give you and the strength you have to go on. And I think that more people should be able to experience that so they can be able to stand on their own and do for others. It's the people that go through that kind of a journey that make the biggest impact on the people around us. And I'm sorry I teared up.
No, it's wonderful, and you've inspired a whole bunch of people right now that you don't even know that you haven't even met yet. And thank you so much for speaking from your heart. And with that, I want to thank you so much, Elizabeth. You're so powerful. I'm so thrilled that you are with us and on these and with us for these hangouts. It's very, very powerful. And you're going to, I mean, the women that you're going to inspire, the people that you're going to inspire, I've got goosebumps already. I just got goosebumps, seriously, from what you just said. Below, there's a link. You wanted to connect with what we're doing. Honestly, this is like a $7 trial. If you want to, it's there for you. Either way, you are always welcome here on our Hangouts to take the information that we have. What is there, though, like as Sarita would say, if you want to say you're really good at saying, just check it out. It's trial, and you can connect in and see the entire community of what we are and what we're talking about and get access to a lot of this and more. And because we do work privately with folks as well, doing these exercises and a lot more, basically, what we do. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. I encourage you to do this exercise. Do the exercise for yourself. If you can find a way, when someone's taking, to either record yourself by yourself or someone's doing this with you, to find a way to have it recorded so that you can come back. And there's something very powerful about seeing what comes up naturally out of your life when you do this exercise and coming back to that. If you can find a way to have it recorded, even if it's just if it's a video that you just do for yourself, have it playing, from your laptop that you never even show anybody else, that you do with someone and they're talking to you on the phone, and you can just have some recording of yourself with this. Do that. Do somehow way to do that, just privately for you. And we'll see you all next week. Click the button, connect with us. We're here. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody on the panel, and all of you watching, and everybody else. See you all next week.